little bit. You were there 5 years, is that right?
5 years at Lonmorris, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and talk. You had a great record there as well. It says here 131-37 losses. That's pretty impressive. What was that team like?
We had we had really, really good young basketball players. Most of our talent came out of Dallas and Houston areas, with the sprinkling of rural kids out in between. But every year, our first team always got scholarship to major colleges, and our second unit almost always got some kind of scholarship to play basketball college. So uh, all of my players, every one of them, in the 5 years I was there, whether they were starters or came off the bench, they all went on and got their degrees and got their education, of which I'm extremely proud that they did.
And was that an expectation that you had of them,
Yes,
that you
it
made
was.
clear to them?
Yes, it was, and they knew it, and they accepted it and bought into it. But well, Jacksonville, there were a whole lot of other things to do in Jacksonville. Might as well study and play basketball.
Where is Jacksonville?
East Texas, not too far from Tyler. You heard Tyler?
Still in that
Yeah, 30
area?
miles from Tyler.
Yeah.
35.
So from there, how did you get to UT?
Well,
Back to UT, I guess.
we had good teams and good record, and sent players to UT. In fact, I sent three players that started for A&M to A&M, believe it or not. I did. People wondered, why in the world did you send those three players to A&M? They were good. My players, they were good players. They were good students, and in spite of what I say about A&M, they could get a good education. A&M was a good school. They could get a good education, and it so happened that the coach was Shelby Metcalf, and he only had a 1-year contract. And people with a 1-year contract are not very selective on who they play. They're going to play the best players. And I knew the three kids I was sending him would be better than all except one player he had, and I knew they'd play, and they did. And they were very happy. All of them are still very successful, doing real well, and I'm certainly happy that I sent them down there.
And how did UT call you, or was that kind of something you had on your radar already? Did you want to go and be a UT basketball coach? Was that a goal?
Yeah, I did. I turned down a number of jobs, waiting to see what was going to happen at Texas. And sooner rather than later, things did change at Texas, and I didn't come as the head coach. I came as the assistant coach for 3 years, and after 3 years, that I was under Coach Rawl, I was named the head coach at Texas.
So that's from 1968 to 76. You were head coach.
Yeah, that sounds right.
And
Excuse me.
Jason notes here, this was in the, and you mentioned it earlier, the pre-revenue era of coaching. The pay was not exorbitant.
No, it's like everything else. Where am I coaching now? Am I at Texas?
Yeah, UT.
Okay, if I'm at Texas coaching, I'm not making a whole lot of money, but I know Coach Rawl, who was our assistant, who was our athletics director, and our head football coach, he wasn't making much either. So there's no way in the world I'm going to complain about what I'm making, because I'm having fun and I'm getting paid. So I'm not about to say anything about it. So it's nothing like what the pay is today for all coaches.
Just a different time.
Yep.
Yeah. And speaking of football, that's a big thing at Texas.
Yep.
Was there a rivalry kind of between football and basketball, or?
No, you can't have any rivalry with one king. You have to have at least two people in the arena that can compete against each other. Football, as one of our SIDs used to say, that I wasn't too fond of, by the way. He said there are two sports at Texas: football and spring training. So I had to recruit against that. Everywhere I'd go, I'd talking to one of the prospects I wanted to get to come to Texas, and they said, well, Texas, nobody cares. Said they said your SID is quoted as saying all over the country that there's not any basketball in Texas. It's all football, and that was true. In my 9 years, Coach Rawle was in a ball game every year, and I didn't have a big staff. It wasn't like it is today. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I traveled. I was the only adult. I had student help, and we would travel, and I'd use my student help. So the people that did football games were the same people that did basketball games, and so it was really, really hard for us to have a basketball game before January the 1st, and that's about when conference would start. I wasn't very smart, but I could see that, one, we wanted to win the conference because that's the only way you could get into the NCAA. So in order to win the conference, you've got to play tough competition. We paid $1,500 guaranteed to get a team to come to Old Gravy Gym and play. Nobody in their right mind would come in there and play for $1,500. I don't blame them. So we had to go on the road. You don't go on the road and play people that are good, that'll get you better with their officials and win a whole lot of games. Mm-hmm. And we played a lot of them where we didn't, include the UCLA's and other schools, Florida States and so forth. But we did get better. Every team I coached here at Texas, we had about 4 or 5 really good teams, and we had 2 or 3 teams that weren't very good. But even our bad teams got better. And I'm not saying it's because of coaching, but I am telling you that if you play good competition and you compete against that competition, you're either going to quit or get better. And our kids did get better.
Tell me.
You guys can keep going. I'm going to use the restroom. But
okay.
You just keep going. I don't want to stop it for that.
Okay.
One note to that.
Yeah.
You might mention, if you want to, that you did not have one bye game.
No.
In all your head coaching career. Whereas a lot of the coaches, their philosophy was to play a soft schedule mm-hmm. and get their record up to so that they could keep their contract. And Dad's philosophy was, I'll take the losses on the road, but my team is going to get better and compete in the championship. Mm-hmm. But he didn't have one single game, where he had like a guaranteed win on the schedule.
Right.
And he did that on purpose.
And part of that, if I'd have had.
So real quick, we